I see the things and the stuff.
Awesome. Welcome everybody to another episode of Info Dump Under the Influence. Um, I am here with Nyx Spencer, and today
Hey.
we are going to talk about how audiobooks are actually, oh goodness. All right.
Oops, we forgot to mute things. One moment, please.
Whoopsie. We're going to talk about how audiobooks are valid forms of reading.
Indeed.
That's important.
Mm-hmm. So hi. I guess I'm Nyx Spencer, aka Resonant Moon, friendly NB streamer slash audiobook editor, QCer, all that jazz. Um, so yeah, I have had this fight for a while, and I've been working in audiobooks for 7 years, but I've been a fan of audiobooks for so long. Um, Audiobooks count as reading, but not only that, you also get pronunciations for things.
Oh my God, right? Although
So
it depends on whether the person actually knows how to pronounce the word properly, because I've run into that sometimes.
facts. I'm a big fan of the Dragon Age series, and I there was one book of their book series that I didn't own in paperback, so I got the audiobook. And I love the video game series, but this narrator did not have a QCer that knew the pronunciations of things. Um, and it hurt me so bad.
Oh, I'm so
It
sorry.
hurt me so bad.
Oh.
But you know, so what my argument is that when you read something, you retain information from it, you make anecdotes with it as to how it makes you feel. You can connect with characters and things like that. It's the same with audiobooks. It's absolutely the same with audiobooks.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't understand the only thing that you can't do with audiobooks that you can do with physical books is you can't go back and highlight things or whatever. But with an audiobook, you can still make notes while you're listening. And it's slightly more
Yeah.
versatile.
Yeah.
Um, so like I have such vivid memories of listening to audiobooks and audio dramas while driving. And that's the best time to have those stories happen.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
or the worst, depending.
Yeah. If you're
And
reading something scary and you're driving at night, it gets a little nervy.
I was listening to um one of Scott Sigler's books. I think it was Nocturnal.
Mhm.
And I was driving over Chesapeake Bay at midnight on that highway that goes under the water as well.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the book.
Oh,
So they're flying away on a helicopter over dark water.
yeah.
It has that visceral effect. So you cannot tell me that it's not a valid form of reading. You're retaining that. You're also creating a different kind of memory that you can then relay to other people. This book is amazing, and let me tell you, the narrator delivered it this way,
Yeah.
which is also awesome. And we know
Yeah.
far too many narrators and
Oh, yeah.
authors for it not to be a valid form of retaining a story.
It
Um,
is frustrating when you have a narrator that does not deliver. Um, I am enchanted with Pride and Prejudice, and so I have listened to so many variations at this point, and the variety of narrators, fluctuates from men to women,
mhm.
but and I'm very disappointed in myself that I can't remember. Stevie Zimmerman.
Okay.
I love the way Stevie Zimmerman narrates Pride and Prejudice
Mhm.
alternatives.
Yeah.
Um, I remember buying like the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop is a series is very dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember listening to the narrator, John Sherian, and the main character, the main female Jesus type character,
Mm-hmm.
her her voice changes from like normal non-English to like this weird Irish brogue. And I'm like, who's talking? I don't understand. And sometimes he would
Yeah.
change accents, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when it completely throws me out of the story.
Well, and that's, that comes down to who is proofing the audio because um you find consistencies like that. My biggest issue is when the author reads the book, but it's from a POV that is not something that they can voice very well.
Yeah.
And there are authors and narrators who will say, yeah, you can do different affectations with your voice. You could do the typical, I'm a man, I'm going to be in falsetto when I'm doing a woman's voice. And that's not very convincing. A great narrator will say, oh, I know that this woman speaks from in her chest or from her nose, and so that's how I'm going to speak when I'm using this character's voice.
Yeah.
Same thing for a woman doing a man's voice. We can obviously go deep into our baritone, but it's about the attitude. And like I've seen our friend Veronica Jaguar, when she voices a man and she has the and she's like sharing her recording process, her posture changes
Hmm.
when
So she
she's
actually
reading.
physically embodies
Yeah.
the character. Huh?
Yeah, and that's so important. And that's something that you get, like that's the added bonus of a good audiobook that you don't necessarily get with your paperbacks. Now, I'm not knocking it. You can have an amazing theater of the mind experience
Hmm.
with a book, with a physical book, but it also requires you to be still. And
Yeah.
a lot of us have a hard time being still.
Hmm.
Whereas if you are trying to add that additional movement to your life, you're trying to get on top of things around the house, you have the audiobook as almost like body doubling with a good story that you don't have to watch.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
movie you don't have to watch to experience all of it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if I'm weaving or if I'm doing some artistic stuff,
Hmm.
I don't have to focus on a visual component.
Yeah. I mean, we could also sidebar into why video companies and production companies should definitely put more emphasis into their audio description qualities because that's how I consumed Rings of Power because I was sitting there crocheting and just listening to Rings of Power while listening to a woman is in the water treading water while a makeshift boat comes out of the mist. It was interesting.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
Gosh.
it could be so much better, but at the same time, it's like you have the media that you have. I have Dune now, and so I'm so excited to listen to Dune for my road trip that I'm taking next week.
Make sure you have lots of water.
Oh, because it will make
I'm,
me thirsty.
oh yeah. And when
Mm.
my first read through of Dune was just like, fuck, I'm drinking like pounding water because the vermin. Yeah, it just oof.
But yeah, and audiobooks they just you can have the same experiences and you could translate those experiences to people who have read the book.
Yeah.
I have not met a person who has listened to a series. Um, you know, I curse the author of this series, but I've listened to the Harry Potter series before she came out as a terrible person.
Yeah.
Um, and I was able to consume the entire book and I still remember all the scenes that I would have loved to see in the movie series.
Yeah.
The Rhapsody book series by Elizabeth Hayden is absolutely fascinating to listen to. And a lot of authors recently, well, not recently, over the past couple of years have been doing this thing where they have multiple points of views. Their chapters go back and forth between different POVs, and so
Mhm.
they have different narrators for those POVs, and I love that. Because
Mm.
one, it exposes us to more narrators, but two, you also get a different perspective of the same characters,
Mhm.
um, which is fascinating, but also complicated probably when you're writing out the director's notes for this is how this character is supposed to sound. This is how this character is supposed to sound.
Yeah.
Um, but I very much appreciate that we're getting that experience. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I remember I bought Chuck Wendig's The Wanderers. Holy shit.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, it was spectacular, but it was a slog of
mm,
like emotions that came up, especially with some of the, civilization falls apart and the specific things that happen to characters who are just like, I wasn't expecting that kind of really uncomfortable scene here. But I mean, he did a spectacular job.
oh yeah.
And it was as from what I remember, it was two different readers, a female
Mm,
and a male, and I don't remember their names, but it was really well done and really well produced.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I keep forgetting about, but I probably shouldn't, back when I used to live in Massachusetts, my girlfriend and I would go for long drives together and we
Mhm.
would have an audiobook going.
Nice.
And that is one of the benefits of an audiobook is you can share the experience with somebody else.
Yes.
We were listening to Polysecure,
Mm,
and
yeah.
so we would listen to a chapter and we'd have to pause so that we could discuss the chapter together,
Yeah.
and then we would continue.
Yeah.
And I loved that shared experience. It was a little frustrating because when we would be done with our date, uh, I'd be like, I want to find out more. I want to go on to the next topic, but I can't because
Yeah.
she's not with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But having that shared experience though is immeasurably satisfying, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine having a crafter circle and you're all listening to the same book, and so it could be a crafters circle slash book club.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I think that we should start that.
Yeah, like have just a salon night
A
where
salon.
yes, bring your art for the salon and we'll all listen to a
And we should have a
selection.
read. So you know how like in the Jane Austen books and whatnot, they have often have a reading from somebody. Someone is reading at the end of the night. I feel like that's kind of what it is.
I refuse to listen to Fordyce's sermons. I refuse. Mary can read another fucking book.
Well, she can also or Marianne can give Shakespeare to Colonel Bradley. I will
Mm.
listen to Alan Rickman read Shakespeare any
Oh,
any
goody.
day. Well,
Yeah.
R.I.P. But
Yeah.
also, Alan Rickman.
Oh, yeah.
He could get it.
I find myself wishing that people like Tom Hiddleston and Benedict Cumberbatch would
Hmm.
like narrate books, but that would take them out of their acting, you know?
Not necessarily. I got to meet Doug Jones back in 2018 or 19.
Yeah.
And um we talked for a little bit, and I'm like, I know you are a wonderful character actor because he's got that long neck, he's got that huge frame. And I was like, but your voice is amazing. He goes, I know. And I said, if you ever do an audiobook, he said, funny you should mention that. I'm starting to. So
Good.
it's
Good.
well within their wheelhouse, and there have been a lot of profound actors and other talented creators who have done the audiobook scene.
Yeah.
Heck, they did a compilation of the Legends of Drizzt short stories
Hmm.
for Dungeons and Dragons, and they had some of your normal geeks that you would expect to be doing the stories. They had Will Wheaton, Felicia Day, people like that.
Yeah.
They also had Ice-T. And Ice-T's
Ooh.
son was the one who was like, Dad, you have to do this. You have to do this. This is
Ew.
Dungeons and Dragons. It's Legends of Driss. And so he read it, and it was surprisingly good.
That's fantastic.
And I've worked on biographies by different comedians, which is amazing in itself, because the comedians know their life. They know how to tell their life in a specific way, because that's how they get their comedy, from
Yeah.
living. And the joy of the audiobook is that a lot of times with these biographies, if you're into biographies, you get sidebars. You
Mm.
get asides. My favorites are Leslie freaking Jones. Oh
Hmm.
wait,
Oh
can I cuss?
God.
Can I cuss on your channel?
Oh fuck yeah.
Leslie fucking Jones is an amazing book. I'm still finishing it, but amazing book, hilarious comedian. She can get it, and she has a lot of sidebars too.
Mhm.
So does Eddie Izzard. And
Oh.
Eddie Izzard's sidebars are as delightfully quirky as her specials and everything like that. So I highly recommend that
Oh,
if you like biographies, please check out biographies that are read by the author. Michelle
I,
Obama, same thing with her book. I think it's Believe. Yeah,
mm,
she had a
I
couple of sidebars in hers too.
I remember listening to Steve Martin.
Hmm.
What is it? Born Standing Up.
Yep.
And I had no idea that he had worked at Disney as
Hmm.
a younger person, and just, listening to all of the life that he had, and only really knowing him as the jerk or the wild and crazy guy,
Hmm.
the guy with the arrow through his head. I
Yeah.
loved Steve Martin, and I still do. But it
Hmm.
was really cool to have that insight into his life.
And then if you have I know we're talking about comedians, but like Jeff Dunham has a great biography. I think it's Beside Myself or something like that. And his characters come in and do sidebars as well. I don't know if they're written in the book, but it's hilarious to have, Walter come in and say a few things. And he talks about the whole reason that he has a sketch about Walter going to the IRS building and flipping them off. Like, because I think he was like 12 and the IRS tried to get him for tax fraud because he didn't know he was supposed to be filing taxes with his ventriloquism bit.
No, no.
So, but yeah, you get that extra bit from an audiobook that you don't necessarily get from sitting down and reading it. And don't get me wrong, being still with yourself is a wonderful act of self-love.
Yeah.
Um, Losing yourself in a story, and a wonderful act of love towards the author and towards the characters and the world that the author has created. But you can also you could also do that during other things. I think I did see a study a couple of years ago that people who are listening to podcasts and audiobooks while driving are more attentive to their surroundings than if they're listening to music.
Interesting.
Um,
And I tend to listen to either like YouTube news,
yeah.
or like the channels I follow, Beau
Hmm.
the Fifth Column and Legion Miller.
Yeah.
But for the most
Minor
part,
Brian, Tyler Cohen,
ah,
and Midas Media. Yeah.
nice, nice. Yeah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, whether they
Yeah.
are, I remember listening to Asada Shakur's memoir,
Mm.
just like wanting to drive my car into a tree when
Hmm.
just and I read a lot of social justice stuff,
Hmm.
and then I have to kind of calm down with fantasy because then I get so angry.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The Rhapsody series would be a great one for you if you have not read it yet. Um, because it these characters have to traverse the center of the world, and they jump through time, and the woman herself uses song and weaving um and an unweaving in order to process magic and to untangle the hurts of the world.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah, that sounds like it would be right up my
yeah,
alley.
it's right up your alley. It's beautiful. And I have others that are like classics that I never got to in school,
Yeah,
that I know I should read. It's going to be easier to do it with audiobooks.
yeah, yeah. Like I need to get Catch 22. And
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever read I remember trying to read the Turner Diaries with a friend because
Hmm.
I wanted to be informed as to what this manifesto had in it.
Right,
I don't know if I could listen to it. I I would get like unreasonably angry.
right.
Yeah,
It does add a layer of emotion to it
yeah.
when you are reading it. I know that I have to work on some books that do not align um with my social views and um my political views. And sometimes I have to report those to my publisher because I don't think my publisher wants their name on this work. Um,
Mhm.
but it also gives me perspective on how people are taken in to why is it so appealing, and
Yeah,
how do they appeal. And they may not even be trying to do a manipulative wool wool over the eyes of the listener,
yeah,
but at the same time, that is kind of what they're doing.
yeah.
um an audio kind of You can't throw an audiobook across the room.
Yeah, and you really can't smash your stereo because
Yeah. Yeah.
expensive to get another one.
That's what Okay, so there's one downfall. You can't throw an audiobook across the room. Because oh my God, I tried with the Twilight series. I got through one book. And
I
then
read all three.
okay.
And I
So
read all three of that horrible Christian Grey shit too, just so I would
oh
know what everybody was talking about. And oh,
yeah. Yeah. But so there's I feel so bad for the people who did the audiobook because I had the physical book. But the second book and the lazy writing of the
oh,
3 chapters that are 2 blank pages with a title and that's it.
yeah.
I chucked that thing so hard. I was working out of college at the time and I nearly hit a student coming out of the classroom. And they were like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Don't pick it up. It's cursed."
Don't touch it, it's evil.
When Gilbert Gottfried was alive,
Mm,
may he rest in peace,
yeah.
him doing those readings, the spicy readings of
Oh, oh, those
of the
they
different books. Oh, uh, my
were the
heart was
best.
so happy
Yeah. Yeah, same. No, my
because
mom, my mom had a throwing a book across the room moment when she was reading Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. And it was
oh,
the part where the main character's in bed and it's like, you're holding my hand really tightly. And
mhm.
then the other woman is like, I'm not holding your hand. And my mom just went, fuck that.
That's what you get.
Yeah, you're like, ah.
One thing that I do find when I am listening to the audiobook, if they start talking about um she shrugged her shoulders, for some reason I will also shrug my shoulders. He smirked at her, I will start smirking. And I
Yes.
didn't realize I was doing this
Mhm.
until I was working and the VIP, my other partner who lives close to me, showed up, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You're smirking." And I'm like, "Am I?" Oh, oops.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm reading a book now called A Tipping Point or
Hmm.
listening, and it's At some point, the author uses the word yawn like 15 times, and I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And you can bet the narrator, if you were listening to it, the narrator was having a hard time not yawning.
mhm.
You know, and now that we're talking about it, I just yawned in my like,
Oh, curse you!
curses, curses, psychosomaticism. Um, so yeah, I the other thing that I love is like I was talking about earlier, unexpected
Mm,
narrators that are surprisingly good.
yeah, that's
Like,
always a treat. That is
mhm.
always a treat.
And what people don't, hi, what?
Oh,
Sparrow,
oh, Sparrow.
a constant companion on my channel is one of my cats, Sparrow, who has the loudest meow and is so sad all the time.
All the
It,
sad.
all the time.
It's like
Um,
Stet is always like, I swear to God, he just embodies a Karen going up to return something.
mm,
Because it's just, oh,
mm-hmm.
oh, what the fuck is that all about? You know?
Yep. And then when Lilith comes up, she's usually meowing because there's a bug that she can't catch, and so I just look at her and I'm like, "Get good, bro.
Like Jedi mind tricks, man.
Let's go." But yeah, unexpected narrators are fantastic. Like when you have somebody that you don't expect is going to be a good narrator. Stephen Fry is one of them.
Oh,
Um,
he's a spectacular narrator. Yeah.
yeah. And when I was, watching his sketches with Hugh Laurie and also in like V for Vendetta, I was just like, yeah, he's great at this stuff. I wouldn't I wouldn't put him as a narrator. But then listening to the different voices he can do was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Also, that is one lost art that a few narrators are bringing back. Um, Again, to name drop our friend Veronica Jaguar,
Who is
having
awesome.
hundreds of voices in your back pocket, but also being able to research accents through different resources like
Yeah.
Forvo and a few other different resources to get those accents down that are not a native accent to you
Mhm.
is a skill.
It's a task.
It really is.
I can sound Irish or Russian for maybe a minute, and then it just.
Yeah, and so these narrators, they have to do lines and lines and lines of dialogue in
Yeah.
these accents and differentiate them from other characters so
Yeah.
that, as you were saying earlier, that sometimes the narrator is not good at separating who said what or is inconsistent with the accent that they're using.
Yeah.
Um, so those kind of consistencies are a a skill of a true narrator, like someone who is meant to be narrating, who puts the passion into the craft.
Yeah. There are
uh
Nnedi Okorafor's books.
mm,
The African accents are really solid and just
yeah.
rich. I'm always I'm always amazed when somebody's able to pull off a good Scottish accent because that is not easy.
It's not, especially if you also have an Irish accent in your back pocket,
Yeah.
because you can very easily go from a brogue to a lilt, but the change in what your mouth is doing is so subtle,
Hmm.
but the difference is so stark.
Yeah. For those of you who are watching, I don't know why it says meeting has ended. The meeting has definitely not ended.
No.
So I apologize. Warmly is being weird.
Well, too bad. We're
Yeah.
still here. We're having an after now it's the after party.
That's right.
But yeah, I loved N.K. Jemisin's The Fifth Gate.
Oh,
That was a really good one.
that's a
And
rough. That's a rough ride.
It is a rough ride, but at the same time, it peels back like a lotus flower in bloom.
Have you read The City We Became?
Not yet.
I read that before I read, and just I was amazed at the world building and the concepts. And
Hmm.
there are so many different authors who are going high concept and high world building, and it's so wildly different
Yeah.
that it's just a joy to go, oh, that's a really interesting idea.
Oh yeah. I am so grateful for the BLM movement and for everything that has come from it
Yeah.
because I am getting exposed now through social media to all of these fantastic authors that have different takes on high fantasy
Yeah.
that I've never been exposed to. So the exposure just makes me very happy, but also it's so vividly written that you feel everything. You feel everything so deeply,
Yeah.
um, that, I can't imagine going back to a whitewashed fantasy world.
Yeah, there's a part in Nnedi Okorafor's Who Fears Death.
Hmm.
There's a clitorectomy scene because it's part of what the
Oof.
culture goes through.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, wow. And it was none of it was overdone. It wasn't sensationalized. It was very, wow, that sounds like it was awful and traumatic and hurt a lot.
Hmm.
And yeah.
I'm looking through my list of books so that I can tell you another one that I finished. We Hunt the Flame was amazing,
Ooh.
by Hafsa Faisal. Middle Eastern fantasy, looking for the source of magic. Um,
Ooh, thank you. I will add it to the list of the ridiculous number of books that I have to read.
Children of Blood and Bone, which I heard
Yes.
is possibly getting a series. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to
Oh,
that.
it's so
Um,
good.
Tomi,
Adeyemi, I think.
thank you. I could not say that to save my life. Um, then there's also like an unexpected one, not a person of color, but it's NPCs by Drew Hayes.
Mm.
And you have this group of NPCs or this group of NPCs who's tired of player characters and so tries to become a hero.
That sounds fantastic.
It's amazing. But where's the one that I really wanted to tell you about? Um, Lightning Queen is also really good. That
Yeah.
by Laura Rousseau. That one deals, I think it's in Colombia, and deals with also the native population in Colombia. Um,
The Tainos. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Lightning,
uh,
so I look up Lightning McQueen and
I
it's
have
showing Lightning McQueen, the car. Ew.
I misspoke about N.K. Jemison's uh book. It's not the fifth gate, it's the fifth season.
Ah, okay.
The fifth
Okay.
season. So I misspoke there. No, the Lightning Queen.
The Lightning Queen.
Yes. But where is
There we go. Thank you.
um yes, The Bells by Danielle Clayton is another great one. It's about these girls who use glamour magic and they are sought after for their glamour magic. Um,
Belles, not Bells. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Um, and
Ooh.
that one is that one has Witcher level scenes,
Oh, okay.
um, of how these transformations happen,
Hmm.
but it's a fascinating read and I love it. And of course, I've listened to almost all of the Kushiel series because I love smut.
And assassination. Who
Smut
doesn't?
and assassination. Let's go.
Right? Sex
Uh
worker assassins. I'm all there.
yeah, my partner and my partner got me into it, and then we designed our own house tattoos, but we never ended up getting them.
Oh,
Because
that's
we were
really
like,
cool that you connected to the work like that.
what house would we be part of? All that great stuff. And I was like, well, clearly I would be part of the weaving house because of my skills. Like I would make, if I had magic, I would make these beautiful dresses that made you feel sensations and stuff.
That would be sassy.
Hmm.
Like sensual dresses.
Oh yeah. I still want to do that. I just don't have the means.
Well, I'm sure at some point in our lives,
Hmm.
haptic sleepwear will be involved for VR sex, you know. I mean, no matter how illegal it's going to be, people are still going to make it.
Oh yeah. Because sex sells.
Yeah, it does.
Um, but yeah, those are some of my Becoming is Michelle Obama's book, I think is
Ah, okay.
what is Believe? Is that Believe Me is Eddie Izzard's book. I got them mixed up,
Is okay.
but now I want to look at the Legends of Drist book. Whoops, no, I don't want you to do that. I just want
Oh,
you to show me the chapters so I can see who recorded what, and you're not telling me, so poo poo on you.
yeah.
Anyway,
Jerk.
jerk. um, what else can we talk about with regards to audiobooks that count as reading?
Hmm. I'm also listening to Carl Sagan's Cosmos,
Oh,
so
yay.
and that's a
You know how I feel about Carl Sagan,
yeah.
right?
It's
And
a slow burn because I'll listen because there's so much to it. So
mhm,
I'll listen to a segment and then I tend to listen to or read maybe 5 or 6 books at a time. So
mhm.
I'm between fantasy and science and magic and yeah,
Yeah, and
all of it.
political.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me right now, the hardest thing about working in audiobooks is that I get so tired of them. So
Oh,
like I'm working on a book right now that's about gambling and how gamers calculate risk in investing and how that translates into the real world. Should be fascinating, right?
yeah.
It's 576 pages of this. Um,
It's a
so
tome.
it's a tome. I'm exhausted. It's 15 hours of audio.
Oh no.
If anybody ever asks why an audiobook costs as much as it does, let me tell you. For every hour of audio that you listen to, 10 hours at least of work have gone into it.
Yep.
And so appreciate the amount of work that goes into it.
Yeah. And that doesn't even count the author
And
themselves writing the book,
exactly,
you know?
exactly. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, just appreciate the work that goes into it. Um, I do think that you can have a much more vivid memory of books when it's read to you.
Hmm.
And I say that because I might be biased. I process information auditorially,
Hmm.
or orally, which
Yeah.
sounds terrible. But that it goes back to our roots of passing on information.
We
Everything was an
used to
oral
be
tradition.
we used to be a storytelling people.
Hmm.
And at some point we stopped. And I remember Hannah Gadsby's comedy specials. She talked about how our stories are how we relate to each other.
Exactly. I think hearing a story told, even if it's verbatim from what the author has written, is still much more valuable,
Yeah.
and it creates that connection. Um,
Yeah.
and for people who are introverted, that like I'm an ambivert, but I lean more introvert a lot of the times. It creates a human connection, even though I'm never going to meet the narrator, most likely. Um, it creates a connection between me and the narrator and the author
Yeah.
to have that read to you. I truly think that even having that can help with, and this is just a belief, I don't have any scientific proof of this, but I think it can help with loneliness. I
It's
really do think it could.
There are certain books that when I read them, I feel like I'm with family. I feel like
Hmm.
I'm with people I know,
Right.
and I think that might be why I keep going back to Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen. She was a badass in my
Well,
opinion.
she
She was a
wrote about
badass of her
family.
day. Yeah.
And you know, she wrote about the connections between people. That's why I love those kinds of books over something like Game of Thrones, where you spend 10 pages describing the scenery, and I really want to be connected to the people,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I wish that was an exaggeration. It's not, and I told the author so to his face.
How,
That was a fun
how did
elevator ride.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
I was releasing my book that weekend, so
You're now
uh
best friends, right?
oh yes, my stepmother was horrified that I said
Mm.
that because she loved the series. I'm like, that is your prerogative. But he asked me if I wanted his autograph, and I said no, and he asked me why, and I told him.
Oh my God. That must have gone over like something
Oh,
that doesn't go
my
over very well.
my stepmother thinks I am hilarious. So, and she is my bonus mom for a reason. And I love her very much. Um, she also thinks that I'm sacrilegious when it comes to writers. And I'm like, you're right. I am. That's because I know too many of them.
Yeah. It's like that's awfully, so do you want my autograph? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what
No.
are you selling it? I mean, like, is it
Hmm. But like, so here's the other thing is I was talking about connecting with the author when audiobooks was around.
Mhm.
And so you had the episodic releases of the chapters and whatnot. That's how I came to know Philippa Ballantyne. And
Mm.
I fell in love with her writing because of a book called Weather Child. Now, Weather Child does not get as much love as the other works that she's done. Like she's done the Alien. She's got two books in the Alien series, like official
Yeah.
books, the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences, the Geist series, all that. But Weather Child came out on audiobooks, and it was, and I told her it was my favorite thing, and I learned through the friendship that we have with her, um, that that was her homage to her grandmother, and it made me feel so connected in that way to a country I've never been to people that I did not know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was so valuable to have that connection between people. And I think that's part of the reason why Pip and I are such good friends now.
Yeah.
Um,
It
and
helps that she's fucking awesome.
it does help that she is fucking awesome and
And the
makes
guy, the guy she married, yeah, he's pretty
yeah,
cool.
he's okay too.
He's all right.
Um, and she makes a mean improvised chicken artichoke dip
Oh,
or dish. That's what I meant to say, not dip, dish. But
yeah.
that's a story for another time. But the connection is profound, and I find that the stories that I am most drawn to are the ones about people.
Yeah.
Um, not necessarily places, but people. And yeah, having the description of how they're interacting with the world is pretty cool. And you know, I do that a lot with doing game mastering for like Dungeons and Dragons and all the other games that I run.
Mhm.
Um, but it's the interactions between people that make the story worth retelling.
Yeah.
Um, history is not made of world events, it's made of people.
I find that I'm getting, as I get older, I have less tolerance for dick measuring. Like
Mm-hmm.
anytime there's fighting or anytime there's conflict of, where people are getting all what instead of
Mm-hmm.
conversing
Mm-hmm.
and, sharing an uncomfortable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have less patience with it.
It can't be anime where you communicate with your fists.
I tried. I loved City Hunter. I
Okay.
loved City Hunter when it came out in the 80s. The
Mm-hmm.
remake, I'm like, wow, this guy was a dick. And how did I
Mm-hmm.
not see this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's just horrible.
Like I
Anti-Detsu! Like, oh my God.
Yeah, you go back and you reread or you re-listen to things that you thought you liked, and you're kind of like, why was this appealing to me when I was younger?
Oh yeah.
And it's probably because we have grown, we have different life experiences, and that's one of the beauties of re-listening to a story. You can re-listen to a story and you could have different feelings about it
Yeah. Yeah. There are
with
movies that I loved back in the 80s.
hmm
And I watch them now and I was like, this was my touchstone.
hmm
And now I feel like a dick.
Yep.
You know?
I loved Boondock Saints.
I did too, but holy shit, that was
The
problematic.
However, the scene where he uses fuck in 14 different ways in one sentence, and certainly describes the diversity of the word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's one
I
of my favorite movies, but that scene with the whole the rule of thumb, well, it really should have been the rule of wrist. I'm like,
I got to meet her, by the way.
she's amazing.
So when I first came out as non-binary,
Hmm.
I went to a convention and I dressed as my non-binary icon, Utana.
Hmm.
Um, and I got to meet her. We were talking about Dot Marie. Oh God, what is her last name? Hang on. Dot Marie. Dot Marie Jones.
Okay.
And I talked to her, I got to talk to them a little bit about, their role as coach in Glee,
Yeah.
coach who transitioned from female to male.
Yeah.
And that was very powerful
Yeah.
for me. And I also talked about Boondock Saints and whatnot, but I was like, but your portrayal of Coach was very moving. And I realized that that's not you. But as a person who just came out as not binary, that was so important to me. And
Mm.
they pulled me into a hug and they said, me too.
Oh,
And then the next day, they were still at the convention and I won the amateur cosplay uh competition,
oh
and
fuck yeah.
they saw me and they were like, yeah, and they needed to take a picture of me with my trophy, and I was like, I
Oh,
died happy.
that's so great.
So Dot Marie, will I forever stand Dot Marie, forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yes,
They're amazing.
absolutely. So yeah, people and stories,
Yeah.
people and stories and
I think for
audio.
me, Boondock Saints was mostly the brothers just being idiots together. And they're supposed to be assassins. Like, here's your fucking rope. Like,
Oh, here's your fucking rope, carrying your fucking rope everywhere. Um, my favorite is there was a
oh
firefight.
my God.
Well,
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe ate the scenery
Yes,
in that
he did.
movie.
Yes,
Ah,
he did. I think the word you're looking for is symbolism.
what is the symbolism there?
Symbolism, not symbology.
Detective Dapascapolopoulos or whatever his name is.
Mm,
Wow, you're the first person who got that right.
mm.
Yeah, well, I'm an expert in namiology.
There were so many good, cool things about that movie.
Most of
And
them
yet,
Willem Dafoe.
yeah, yeah, and it's just, I mean, that I use the quote from the prayer, the boys,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
And shepherds we shall be for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power has descended forth from thy hand, that our feet may swiftly carry out thy command.
oh, and we shall flow a river
Riv-
forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
In nomine
Nomine
patri et
Patri,
filii
Filii et Spiritus
spiritus
Sancti.
sancti. Also, Billy Connolly, man.
Oh my
I
God.
never thought I would see Billy Connolly in a serious role.
Yeah, but he was spectacular.
He was. He really was. He played
Yeah,
Il Duce very well.
yeah.
Um, I can't believe Ron Johnson was also in that movie. Problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Oh my
but
God.
but yeah. Uh, what were we talking about?
Yeah, we
My
kind of got,
brain shut off for a minute.
yeah, yeah. Oh
That
God.
happens sometimes. Um,
We got distracted by
by
by the big
problematic
shiny
movies
thing
of
in the
our
sky.
past.
Yes, yes,
But okay, so back to audiobooks.
yes.
So I loved audiobooks and the free audiobook project that they really created. Not only were they doing audio dramas, but they were giving an outlet for independent authors to be widely consumed by
Yeah.
people. It's how I got to meet so many of people that I now consider my dear friends. Some people who have been past loves. Um, people who have touched my life through their writing and then touched my life through their existence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will never ever not encourage people who say I don't have time for reading. Like Mr. Bingsley says in Pride and Prejudice to what's the sister's name?
Oh, Jane.
Yeah, to Jane. He says, I don't really have much time for reading. There seems to be too many other things to do. Well, that's why audiobooks exist.
Mm-hmm.
So, if Mr. Bingsley and Jane were around in this time period, I think they would really approve of audiobooks and think about how much Elizabeth could get done. Lizzie could get done if she had an
Mm-hmm.
audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Oh my God.
you imagine
Lizzie would
walking
go
on
crazy. She would
walking?
just like be in the house with
Yeah,
hands on her head, and she would never talk to anybody.
exactly. She'd be like, "What? There's a man here for me? I don't need him."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, oh my God, Charlotte would be able to ignore her idiot husband.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Mr. Collins,
Mr.
I'm afraid the
Collins.
pig's gotten into the garden.
Oh, I know that you young women, sir, I would not lead you on that way, sir. Go away. I will not marry you.
Please allow me to express to you the violence of my affection.
Violence
That's
of my
one of
affection.
my
Oh
favorite
God.
lines.
Uh yeah, my favorite line from Jane Austen has to be Colonel Bradley saying, "Give me a task to do or else I shall go mad."
Oh yes. Oh
Mm,
yes.
mm. Um
That was a
Sense and
good man.
Sensibility is my favorite. It will always be my favorite.
I get that.
You will never tell me otherwise
I just
because especially because I see myself in all the sisters. And and having the world of India described as the air is full of spices. Oh, excuse
yeah,
me.
right.
Excuse me
Right.
while I faint.
I just Willoughby. Fuck off, man. Willoughby's a dick. Get
Willoughby
over it.
is a dick.
Willoughby's a shit bag. He's a shitbird. Just let it go.
And of course the Mrs. Mrs. What's her name? Who she's like, I'll whittle it out of you yet.
Oh God.
Is that Pharaohs with an F?
Hmm. There is a feminist version of Pride and Prejudice where Mr. Bennet decides that Lizzie shall marry Mr. Collins and none else shall do, and she ends up like hooking up with Darcy and marrying him, or they're about to get married, but Mr. Bennet and her brother-in-law
Hmm.
come and collect Lizzie, kidnap her, and then take her to go live with the high roly feminist aunt that then goes, "Oh darling, we have a library, let me," and it's just, yeah,
I
it,
love it.
it was really good. That's
I also really love Bride and Prejudice.
Bride and
No
Prejudice is
wife,
spectacular. No,
no life.
yeah. Even though the guy that played Mr. Darcy was kind of a
Yeah.
eh,
Eh.
eh. I've
I
seen him in
was
other things, but
I was there for the musical and the colors and
same.
the snake dance.
Oh my god. Yeah, good times, good times.
Yeah, we should watch that together.
We should. I would love that.
Yeah.
I gotta get down to visit you again.
Yes, you do.
I miss you a lot.
I
It
miss
looks
you too.
it
And
looks like we're at an hour almost. It's
high
at
five. We did
6:57.
it.
So what else? What would you like to say in closing?
In closing, um, I would like to say, don't ever let anyone tell you that the stories that you know are not valid. It
Mm,
does not matter how you consumed those stories. Those stories made you feel something for a reason. So take what you can from them and use it however enriches your life. And I
thus
have
saith the
all
book sage.
thus saith the book sage, and you can find me here on Twitch on Mondays at Resonant Moon. And I have more of those sayings. I also do tarot readings and stuff like that.
Yeah, you should definitely follow Nyx. They are someone to follow.
Yeah. And if you
Well,
live in Southern Virginia, you can come and see me at different markets
there
because
you go.
I do all the stitchcraft stuff.
Nice,
My
nice.
cat is also advising me that it is time for dinner.
Oh goodness. Thank you so much for joining me today, Nyx. It was really good to talk to you.
Yay! We will have to visit soon.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Much love to everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, bye.